My name is Matoomona Mkunte, and welcome to the news report on Live TV at 18. I do have some interesting stories for you this beautiful Monday, so we're just going to go ahead and see what we'll be looking at during the course of this news report. So a nurse has been suspended in Mongo for refusing to attend to a pregnant woman. And also government is saying it is still looking for funds in order to facilitate the issuance of the NRC exercise, which they say is supposed to continue. On the copper belt in Dollar, a woman has sued her fiancé for wasting her time. And Zambia Breweries is saying that they are failing to meet the demand for alcohol during this festive season. And also, Ngawe DC is saying Jehovah's Witnesses should not benefit from the farmer input support program because they do not vote. On the other hand, in Lusaka, 2 young men have gone viral for mending potholes on their own, and Habitat in Kawe has trained 60 people to be shelter aware. On the other hand, if you have a child who's ready for grade 1, the enrollments have started today, and we're going to look at that story. And also, a Zambian student has choked to death during an eating competition. Last but not the least, we'll look at sports, and then we'll see how Zambia is doing. Apparently, the Zambia under-20 have beaten Comoros to maintain a fine COSAFA streak. Let's get started and see what we'll be talking about right about now. Now, a nurse has been suspended in Mongo for allegedly refusing to attend to a pregnant woman who was about to give birth. Now, this woman was on the way to the rural health post that this nurse works at. And when she could not move any further, some people informed the nurse who was on duty. And they told her to go and check on the woman, but the nurse refused because she was watching TV. Now, government has identified this nurse as Chimalizani Tembo, and she has been suspended, and there's a pending investigation into her behavior. And just unlucky for her, the Public Service Management Division Permanent Secretary, Mr. Boniface Chimbwali, was in the area when this was happening, so he saw for himself how negligent this nurse is. I think that nurses really are some of the most important health workers that we have, and even especially in times of coronavirus, these are people who are on the front line. More so when a woman is trying to give birth, this nurse was supposed to drop everything and do everything she could in her power to help her, but she chose to watch TV. I'm just wondering what show she was watching. Maybe it was Telemundo, because I mean, there's no way that you can refuse to turn off the TV to go and do your job. So right now she has been suspended, and investigations are underway. And this incident did happen on Friday in Lukulu district in Western Province near Kawaya Rural Health Post. So that's that about the nurse. We're going to move ahead and look at government issuing government sourcing for funds to look to continue the NRC issuance exercise. Now, Vice President Inonga Wina says that government is looking for money so that the NRC issuance exercise can continue. Now, if you recall, this exercise was supposed to stop at some point when people were starting to register as voters, but apparently there are so many people who want to vote and so many people who are eligible to get NRCs, and government is actually saying that they are looking for money so that more people can register, can get their NRCs, and then they can register to vote. On the other hand, government is also saying that the ECZ should listen to people and stakeholders who are saying that it is supposed to extend the voter registration exercise, because government and everyone else really at this point feels like ECZ will not be able to attain their 9 million voters that they want to register by the 12th of December. I think right now, as of last week, they did register 4 million people, and so far they only have about 4 days left to get to the magic number, the 9 million voters. I really do think that ECZ is really under pressure to listen to the people, because everyone is saying because of the hiccups that they have had, they haven't had enough time to register everyone. So on the other hand, we do have the Christian Coalition Zambia president, Mr. Charles Mwape, who is saying ECZ should extend the voter registration exercise. And here's a video report of him saying the same and urging ECZ to do their part.
The Christian Coalition Zambia wish to join many stakeholders that are calling on the Electoral Commission of Zambia to consider extending the period of voters' registration. This extension will enable Zambia to reach the targeted 9 million voters. We therefore join other stakeholders that have called on the Commission to consider extending the period in the best interest of democracy and the best interest of this country. That in 2021, the coalition believe that a presidential candidate must be voted for a good number of voters as opposed to 1 million voters that gave us a president to govern 17 million Zambians. That was unfortunate, but we have an opportunity to ensure that we bridge the gap and ensure that those that are eligible to vote are given an opportunity to register. We appeal to the Commission to do what is best for this country, that the period be extended and allow other eligible voters to register as voters to ensure that democracy flourish. The coalition also wish to thank every Christian in this country that your response to register despite queues, delays, has clearly demonstrated that the church has risen up with a message to the members to ask them to register so that next year they perform a civic duty, neither to re-elect the PF or to retire the PF or to bring in a new government. You have a responsibility as Zambians, more especially Christians. If you have not registered yet as a voter, this is an opportunity for you to speak through a vote. We believe that next year, the same zeal we have seen on registration, it will be the same zeal to vote. It is a surprise and an encouraging that as early as 0504, people are in the queue to register as voters. Thank you so much, and alute continua. Continue encouraging each other to register as voters. Thank you so much. This is Professor Charles Mwape, President for the Christian Coalition Zambia.
Welcome back, and let's look at more stories that are making headlines. Now, a woman in Ndola is suing her fiance for wasting her time. And this woman, who is named Gertrude Ngoma, has taken her fiance of 8 years to court for wasting her time. And also, she's asking the court to interfere in this matter because she's saying it has taken too long for him to take the step into making her a wife. Now, she says that dowry has already been paid, and she has a child with this gentleman named Herbert Salilaki, who is actually 28. And Mr. Salilaki was supposed to marry her as soon as he engaged her, but it has taken 8 years for her to do so. So Gertrude Ngoma is saying that she is still living with her parents despite dowry being paid, and she is saying her time has been wasted, and she's asking the court to help her in this matter. Now, she's saying this gentleman hasn't been serious from the time that he engaged her, and she wanted to know the way forward and also her future with him. But Mr. Salileki has said that he has always wanted to marry Gertrude, but he hasn't had any money to do so. Now, Gertrude is actually saying that Salileki, the reason why she thinks Salileki is not marrying her is because he has another woman, and she has evidence of text messages between Salileki and this woman. But of course, Mr. Salileki is arguing that there hasn't been communication between himself and Gertrude, and therefore she does not give him attention. But the court in Kabushi has said that this case, this woman should sue for breach of marriage contract and not for him wasting her time, because even if dowry was paid, there is no marriage here, so therefore this cannot be taken as a marriage case. Now, one fun thing to note is that you see this gentleman is 28 years old and Gertrude is 26. Now, if we go back 8 years, it means that Herbert Salileki, when he engaged Gertrude, he was only 20 years old and Gertrude was 18. I do think that when these two people were engaging each other, they were a bit too young to know what they were getting into. And it appears now that they have grown, looks like Mr. Herbert wants other things. And of course, Gertrude Ngoma is waiting for marriage, and that is not happening. That's why she had to go to court. So I do think that she should have done something. I mean, for 8 years, you cannot wait for a gentleman to marry you all that time. I think you should be able to take a hint and see that he's not serious. If I had to give a take, I would say that an engagement should only last a year max. Because I mean, for someone to engage you, they would have known you and they're serious about marrying you and they are ready. Therefore, after they put a ring on your finger, it really should take a year or minimum. We're going to go on a break, and when we come back, we'll look at Zambia breweries complaining that they can't meet the demand of alcohol during this December festive season. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now let's take a look at this interesting Zambian Brewers story. So apparently, Zambia Brewers is saying that they are finding it hard to meet the demand of alcohol in Zambia during this festive season. what they're actually saying is that they have not reduced production, but they are still falling short of the alcohol supply. This is interesting, really, because you see, Zambia breweries, um, the bars are only open for certain periods of time, but people still find time to drink alcohol to the point where Zambian breweries is failing to keep up. So Zambia breweries is now actually saying that is asking its stakeholders for help so that they can mitigate some of these shortages that they have. Here's a video of Zambian breweries that has been making rounds on social media of Zambian brewery workers singing, and just check it out and see for yourself.
There comes a time when we hit a certain goal, when the plants must come together as one. There are people laughing, the beers that we made. This could be the greatest gift of all. We can go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are all a part of a big family, and the truth, quality is all we need. We are the ones, we are the owners, we are the ones who put a brighter smile on our consumers. There's a choice to make. We are the ones who put a brighter smile on our consumers.
So that's Zambian breweries for you. And apparently Zambian breweries is actually saying that they intend to increase production next year because the demand for alcohol is really getting high every year. And talking about the demand for alcohol and Zambia, if you recall, some years ago, Zambia was actually voted as the second most drunken nation in the world. It's not a good record to hold, but now just looking at Zambian breweries, talking about this shortage and also failing to meet this demand of beer, you can clearly see and understand why Zambia is among the top 5 countries of people who drink alcohol. Okay, let's move on and find out what the Ngambwe DC is talking about. Now, Mr. Shili Mizinga, who is the Ngambwe DC, is saying that Jehovah's Witnesses should not benefit from the Farmer Input Support Program because they do not vote. Now, Mr. Mizinga is saying that even the voter registration exercise has been affected by religious beliefs, and because Jehovah's Witnesses are not registering to vote, and he's saying that he is not happy with this development, that they are not voting, but they still want to benefit from government programs. I think that we need to remind Mr. Mizinga that I think this is not a new thing. Jehovah's Witnesses do not vote, so I don't think it should be an issue. And also, I do think that government programs should benefit all the citizens in the country, whether they vote or not. And to just think about it, Jehovah's Witnesses are not the only people who don't vote. There are actually people who are eligible to vote, who choose to stay at home and don't vote, but they still benefit from these government projects. And also, just to remind Mr. Mizinga, Jehovah's Witnesses actually do pay tax. So if they pay tax, it means that they deserve to be serviced from government just as much as everyone else. And really, it's just a constitutional right. You know, like, government is for the people. So I don't think Mr. Mizinga's argument of Jehovah's Witnesses not voting but benefiting from government programs holds any merit. I do think that Mr. Mizinga should focus on trying to get the youths in his area to register as voters. So that's that about this DC, who seems to have overstepped the boundary here. We're going to look at these two young people, these two young guys who have gone viral for mending potholes in Lusaka. Now, two Lusaka youths have won the hearts of people on social media, and they have gone viral, like in a video where they posted themselves mending roads, particularly Tabombeki Road, on their own. So these young people are saying that they do not want anyone to die of road traffic accidents because of potholes, and therefore they have taken it upon themselves to make sure that they mend all the potholes that they can. These young men, Stanislaus and Thomas, are saying that they started an initiative called Fix a Pothole, Save a Life, to help government, because it appears government is struggling to deal with all the potholes on the roads. And it's really worse when it rains, because what actually happens with potholes is that you cannot see a pothole if there is water. Now, people on social media, of course, have jumped, to heap praise on these young people, and some of these people on social media have actually asked for the phone numbers of these young people so that they can donate something to them. While on the other hand, there are some people who can't resist to drag the Road Development Agency into this issue, and they're saying that RDA is not doing enough to make sure that the roads are safe for everyone. Now, Stanislaus asked for well wishers to join the cause, and he's saying that we should not wait for government to fix things that we can fix ourselves. Here's a very short clip of them fixing roads on Tabombeki Road.
Hello people. So today we are in Tabombeki Road. We are from fixing a very big pothole. In fact, Chimugodi, Chilindi, it was very big. We are doing a program called Fix a Pothole Today and Save Lives with my colleague here. Badumbo at Banji, Baposhen Koni, Vantuva people. Yeah, so it's the Stephen Abo Pempera. We tend to pempere the same, but some kind of accidents, but it's when I'm a potholes. If we have potholes, accident in Mbwe, Mzapempera Muzalema. Let's do this together. We can do it. We can do it together. A pothole. So if you know where there's a pothole, make sure go to our page, Fix a Pothole Today to Save Lives. Make sure like mpa na ka comment if possible. Mwatenga tuma photos mwatitumira pemene kali ka pothole tili mu Lusaka. We will do it. We will fix it for you. That's what we are doing. We will fix it. It was a very big pothole. People have been using this. They will tell you to say it was a very big pothole. Very big, very, very big. As you can see, my friend there is gone. It's gone, and you will never see it again. It's bye-bye. Hi, German. It's gone. You never see it again. You never in Tabombeki. You never see a pothole again. The pothole is gone. It's gone. So from here, we're going to Independence Avenue, where there was a traffic accident yesterday, and 3 people died. So we are going to fix it as well. From there, we're going to Kasangura Road. We will fix it. We will do that for you.
So that's that about these young people, who have taken upon themselves to help the Road Development Agency and the other road agencies in fixing potholes. I think that you have to commend these young people, because as you can see, these are just young people who just woke up and said, you know what, we are going to do something about this. We're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about grade 1 enrollment starting today. Stay tuned. thank you for staying with us during the break. Let's continue with the stories that we have. Now, in Kawe, Habitat for Humanity has trained 60 people in safe shelter awareness. Now, Habitat for Humanity has completed a 5-day training of 60 residents of Makululu compound in participatory approach for safe shelter awareness training. So this training started last week on Monday and it ended on Friday. And Habitat for Humanity is saying it is important for people to get trained in safe shelter because most of the houses in Makululu and in other compounds in Kawe are not formally organized, so it's very difficult to know which house is which. Here's a video report of the certificate award ceremony.
Bridget is coming, followed by Albert Sanga. Bawish. Albert Sanga. Alice Marumbe. Alice. Ani Mwale, Lucy Mulenga, Justin Mwape, George.
Yeah, so that's that about that training by Habitat for Humanity, which is a very good move because I did have a chance one time to visit Makululu, and the houses really do not have house numbers, and even the streets are not labeled, just like any other place in Zambia where there's a compound. So it is very important that some of these houses, you know, are safe for the people who live in them. Now, if you have a child who is 5 or 6 and is ready to start grade 1, I do have some good news for you. The Ministry of Education is saying that it has started enrolling for grade 1 today, and the exercise will continue up to the 28th of December. They're also saying this is just stage 1 of the enrollment, and parents and guardians should collect forms from the nearest primary schools. Now, you need to note that this exercise is aimed at people or like schools who are like in the government program, and also schools who are schools which are grant aided. A Zambian student has choked to death during an eating competition on the Copper Belt. Now, News Diggers is reporting that a 16-year-old grade 9 pupil has choked to death during an eating competition in Chingola. So the police have confirmed this, and that while they are waiting for post-mortem, they just want to make sure they know exactly how this happened, because apparently the relatives are saying that they are suspecting foul play. So this incident happened over the weekend around 15 hours, and it happened during a scripture union organized, like a scripture union party, which was organized as a like a farewell party for one of the pupils there. Now they are saying that she choked on something and no one could help her, and as they were taking her to the hospital, she passed away. This is quite sad, and you know, to lose a young life in those bizarre circumstances. I do hope that the family do find closure and peace after police finish conducting their investigation. In sports, Zambia has beaten Comoros 2-0 to maintain a fine COSAFA streak. Now, the under-20 boys have been playing well. The last game they played, they beat Namibia 1-0 to 1. And just for you to note that there's a lot of talent in this team. If you remember the parts on Dakas and the Mwepus, the way they were playing in the under 17 World Cup some 4 years ago. The under 20 also do have some special talent in this team. There's like a midfielder, Joseph Sabobo Banda, who has been scoring goals and is one of the top scorers. And for this Comoros game that they beat Comoros 2-0, midfielder Patrice Mumba won the match of the Man of the Match award. So on Wednesday, they're going to face Malawi, and we're going to wish the boys all the best and good luck so that they can keep on performing the way that they have been performing. That's that for the news report. My name is Hope Mkunte. Let's take a look at some of the stories that have made headlines this evening. Now, a nurse in Mongo has been suspended for refusing to attend to a pregnant woman. Apparently, this nurse was watching TV and she could not attend to this woman who actually gave birth on the roadside. On the other hand, when we're talking about NRCs and the voter registration exercise, government is saying it is still looking for funds to complete the NRC issuance exercise. And on the Copper Belt, a Ndola woman is suing her fiancé for wasting her time. She's saying that she got engaged to this man 8 years ago, and since then he hasn't done anything or hasn't made any move to marry her, even though he did pay a dowry. On the other hand, the Zambian brewery is complaining, and they're saying that they are struggling to meet the beer demand in Zambia. Apparently, Zambians are drinking too much alcohol this festive season, and Zambian breweries are failing to keep up. Gawe DC, Mr. Mizinga, says Jehovah's Witnesses should not benefit from the Farmer Input Support Program because they do not vote. And also, 2 Lusaka youths have gone viral for a campaign they call Fix a Pothole, Save a Life, where they are fixing potholes on Lusaka's roads on their own. And also in Kawe, Habitat for Humanity has trained 60 people in a self-shelter awareness. On the other hand, if you have like a 5 or 6 year old, you need to know that the Ministry of Education has saying enrollment for grade 1 has commenced, and this exercise is starting today on the 7th of December, and it will end on the 28th of December. So you need to hurry and make sure you get a place for your young child. A Zambian student has choked to death during eating competition on the Copper Belt in Chingola. And last but not the least, Zambia under 20 have beat Comoros 2-0 to maintain a fine winning streak in their COSAFA tournament. My name is Hope Mkunte, and I'll see you tomorrow at 18 o'clock in the news report. Have a good evening.